This is J. Krishnamurti's third discussion with students in Saanen, 1968.
What shall we talk over together?
Let's talk about revolution. About revolution.
Let's talk about revolution. De beauté de
Du silence.
silence, oui. Bien là. Je le connais. What shall we talk about? What are the...
You speak a lot of psychological revolution, but I think that this kind of revolution is not sufficient because if there is true communication among men, we can't resolve our own problems without resolve also the problems of the other. And most of the problems of the others are social and political problems. So we need a total revolution that is also psychological, but also social and political. And the question is, how can we make a revolution without creating a reaction?
You talk about psychological revolution that may be all right for individuals, and you have to communicate with others, and the others need a social political revolution also. Is it possible to have a total revolution, both psychological, social, and political, and yet not fall back into a reaction? Right. Shall we discuss that? Bene? Agree? Right. So we do need a political, religious, social and psychological change deep down at the very roots. Now, how is it to be brought about, and where do we begin? Which end of the stick shall we take? At the political, social end, or at a totally different level, which is the psychological end, which may have a relation with the change to be brought about in the other, which is social political, or is there a revolution, a change, a total thing that will cover all this, right? That will cover political, social, psychological change, revolution. One can see the danger of starting a political change that, say, on the political or social, that the communists have done it, other political, other revolutions have done that, but it has led to the same pattern, modified, right? And purely psychological change, which is to be concerned with oneself, though the others exist, to be concerned with oneself, though one lives in a society in which communication is necessary, otherwise there is no relationship, is there a different, a total approach to this whole problem? I don't know if I'm making myself clear. Psychological, social, political, religious, the whole thing. We have so far tried political, social changes. And they have, after killing millions of people for an ideological reason, have built a society where freedom is denied, which gradually is becoming bourgeois, conservative, as was shown in the recent French revolt when the communists voted for de Gaulle. So, you can see how this is happening. So one asks oneself, not as an individual opposed to the community, or community opposed to the individual, where shall an intelligent mind begin? An intelligent mind that sees the psychological change necessary, political change is necessary, and a social change without upsetting the order of relationship too drastically. Now, where shall we begin? If that was your problem, where would you start? First of all, is there such a division? We take it for granted there is a political, religious, social, psychological change, but psychological divisions. But is there such a division? There may be a political action which is fragmented from the rest of it, and so on. But we're asking, is there such a division at all? Or such division exists because in ourselves as human beings are fragmented. I don't know if, right? Am I conveying? As a human being, I am a political entity and a social entity and a family entity. And act differently in each field. Because in myself I am fragmented. Right? I vote conservative and think revolutionarily. And I am religiously bigoted and want universal brotherhood. Or I believe in a particular formula of relationship and I want peace in the world. So, being as a human being fragmented, broken up, my actions are contradictory. Right, sir? So where am I to begin? I am not trying to push in a particular direction. I'm not. I see this thing as is. How man is divided in himself, in his action. political, religious, social, individual, family, and all the rest of it. So where shall I begin? So if you say begin with myself, I have to vote tomorrow. I have to be in social relationship. So shall I withdraw from all this? Political, religious, social, withdraw. And wait till I have perfected my own mind, my own state, and then vote, act. I don't know if you follow what I'm talking about, if I'm making myself clear. So is the problem clear? Huh? If the problem is not clear, our answer will not be clear. Say, for instance, I am a Hindu, but I am not, but I am a Hindu with all my prejudices, all my superstitions, ancient conditioning. And I talk about having universal brotherhood. The two are incompatible, aren't they? Right? Are they not? I'm a nationalist, and I talk about international. It is phony. So I, as a human being, not as an individual, as a human being living in this world which demands fragmentary actions. The world demands it, because we have created the world as it is. And I respond to it always in fragments. Right? So, what am I to do? If you were here, sitting in my place and I was there, what would be your answer? Seeing the Catholic Church has tried through religion and empire to hold the people together historically. And it broke up, and so on. Then the communists came along and said we must have a monolithic attitude towards life. One solid communism, which again is breaking up. Czechoslovakia, Romania, Yugoslavia, China, breaking up. Napoleon tried this, right? Through wars, to bring all Europe together. Then there is the Commonwealth. The Commonwealth, the British Empire, which broke up. Then there is the common market, which some want to expand, remove the frontiers, one government, one monetary system. But there are groups of people who are against it. So, religious organizations throughout the world have tried to unify man, and they have not succeeded. Communists try to do the same with their ideology, with their brutality, with their... and the Nazis tried in their own way, the brutal way. And so on, so on, so on. And in America, the same problem is arising: the black against the white, and the feeling that way, all the rest of it. So, where am I living in this fragmented world? What am I to do which will not be a fragmentary action? Right? Otherwise, I'll be lost again. Is that clear? Huh? Then what shall I do? Please tell me.
If I change psychologically, my social and political action also will change.
If I change psychologically, my political and social action also will change.
They are the result of what I am.
They are the result, the society, the political activity, or the result of what I am. There are two problems involved in it, aren't there? I must change, and also I must vote. If voting is allowed, whereas in communist countries it's not. So I have an action here, two actions. I have to psychologically change, bring about an inward revolution, and also I have to act politically, socially, in relationship. Now, is this possible? You understand what am I clear? Am I making myself clear? I am changing. I say I must bring about a total inward change. Of course, there are all the biological instincts which I can't yet grapple with. But psychologically, perhaps I can do something. But also I have to live, go to the office, go to the factory, go and do something to earn a livelihood. Do I wait till I have completely changed myself and then act, and that action won't be fragmented? And to change myself will take a long time. In the meantime, the water is gone beyond my control. You following all this? So what am I to do? Big one? Can't we change? Can't we change action?
While we are acting.
What?
Can't we change while we are acting?
Can't we change while we are acting? Vote tomorrow. And change. Vote for a conservative, liberal, for the Democrat or the Republican or the Communist, whatever it is, and also change. You see the difficulty? which is, we are saying the same thing. In certain relationships, we must maintain things as they are. In other relationships, we must break it up.
No, we don't maintain them as they are, because it's just through these warm relationships that we change. That is the only way through which we can see what's happening.
Yes,
They're not to be pulled away from each other.
yes.
Can a political or social action ever be a total action, or does it always have to be fragmentary?
Can a social or political action be total?
Or does it always have to be
Or are they always fragmentary? Going to it says, look, may I put it differently? I am a human being living in this world. I have my sexual, biological urges, which I have inherited from the ape and so on, so on, so on. They're all there. And I have to live in a culture which demands political, religious, social, communal activity, all fragmented. And I'm also fragmented, terribly broken up. I have the primitive urges, biological deep-rooted urges, which contradict the social demands, and I have ideological demands. So I live in a world within myself, fragmented, broken up, and I don't know what to do. I go and join the communists, want to hope, and I see what it does to the world. And they believe that only political action matters, nothing else. Because that means a political action that will bring about work for everybody, food for everybody, shelter for everybody. But in that ideological utopia, there are all these broken up nationalities which are going to fight that. There is starvation in India, real hunger, poverty. And yet they want to remain national, exclusive. And so the problem will go on. They don't say, let's drop all nationalities, let's all work together to bring about food, clothes and shelter, because it is necessary. Let's forget your ideology and my ideology, your nation and my nation. Let's all cooperate to feed the world. Not according to your system or my system. Let's all work together. That doesn't exist. Right? You have your system which promises to feed the people. I have my system which promises to feed the people, and we fight over the system. We forget the people. So I see this. The brutality, the awful things that are going on in the world. And I say to myself, my God, what am I to do? I'm a social entity, a political entity, a religious entity, torn up, right? Drawn in different directions. And I say, what is the total action that will answer every demand totally? Right? Is this clear?
Sir, while we're fragmented, we have absolutely no possibility of seeing the totality.
But you, wait, you do see it.
But do we really?
Obviously.
No, we haven't.
And no, do you see it? Not what to do. Don't think of what to do. First see the problem.
I don't understand you.
If I see the problem very clearly, right, the problem, that there must be some action which will be total, which will cover all this, without fragmentation, right? There must be an action, right? But first I must see what is in front of me, right? The communists, the socialists, the Republicans, the Democrats, the Catholics, the Hindus, the Buddhists, the nationalists, the ideologists, right? They're there in front of me. All of them demanding my action, right? So I said, before I begin to act, do I see the problem very clearly? Right? Not what to do yet. You know, if I have a map of this country, very in detailed map, and I want to go someplace, I look very carefully, don't I? First. I look. Then I choose the various roads and so on, right? In the same way, is this problem very clear? The problem, not the answer to it. And if I see that, do I turn my back against it? Say, no, I won't. I will withdraw from all this mess. Go off into a monastery, into a Zen monastery in Japan or into the various monasteries in the world and lose myself. Obviously, that's not the way out, right? Right?
Because the problem's still
There. So shall I be a Catholic? A communist, a socialist, a Republican, a Democrat, a Hindu, a Buddhist? Of course not. Right? Neither a capitalist or social, communist. I won't. So, what has happened? I wonder if you're meeting this. No. I won't belong to any of these. I am no racial, religious division or national division, right? Division of systems. Right? I wonder if you're following all this. Through negation, I shall look. I wonder if you're following. I negate, I deny being a Hindu. I will not belong to any nationality. If I belong to a nationality or be a Hindu, I can't look at the map very clearly. Right? If I am a communist, I can't see very clear what communism leads to. If I say it must all be solved politically, I'm still blinded. Right? I wonder if you... So the approaches that man... the approach that man has come to, you understand? The approach he has made to all these problems has been through his conditioning. Hindu, Catholic, communist. So I say I won't belong to any of that. I wonder, right? I won't. Then I have very clear eyes, unprejudiced eyes, and I can look. Right? So the unprejudiced, clear eye that can look will produce right action. I wonder if you're getting all this. If I am a Jew, I will always look at the problem from my conditioned Jewish, whatever it is, that state. And I will always translate this enormous complex problem from my particular prejudice or knowledge or dialectical research and so on, so on. Right? So, to look very clearly demands that you must not belong to any of these categories. I wonder if you... Then if I look, the very look is my action. I may not vote at all. You follow? I may do something entirely different. I wonder if you're getting all this. So, put it the question, what can an intelligent man do? Intelligence is not fragmentary. It is not your intelligence and my intelligence. It is intelligence. Intelligence says, in front of this map, to answer it, don't belong to any of the categories of human systems. Catholic, Hindu, Buddhist, Democrat, Republican, Labour, the goal, non the goal. Say, don't do it. Intelligence says that. Because that way you bring about another fragmentation or emphasize the fragment. Right? Now, does your intelligence say that? Beg your pardon?
Is it right to reject political groups without first seeing what is right in them?
Is it right to reject political groups without seeing what is right in them? So, created by people with grain of truth in them. So shall I collect the grains of truth in all the political systems and put it together and what? There is grain of truth in Catholicism, grain of truth in Hinduism, grain of truth in communism, in democracy. So, what? Shall I study the grain of truth in communism, be committed to communism, and discover it's not, it is a partial answer, and leave it after 15 years, as many people have done, and go and join something else? and investigate another 15 years there. By the time I'm an old man, gaga finished. You know, they have done this. There are many people who have done this. They have joined Hinduism, thinking it's the most marvelous religion, answering everything. Spend years on it to say, my God, it isn't right, and become something else. Or join a political party. You know this, all this stuff. So what shall I do?
Social divisions, but still the things that made them are still there.
But I have done it. I have removed the inward division. The inward division being, I belong to Hinduism, or communism, or socialism. Politically, I have removed the fragment of political activity in myself. And I also have removed religious fragmentation. So I now can look at this whole map of existence, in which is involved political, religious, social, family, business, technology, and so on. I can look without fragmentation, and therefore act non-fragmentarily. I wonder if you get all this. So you're supposed to be young. Huh? Are you Catholic, Protestant, Socialist, Hindu, Buddhist, Catholic? Are you? Huh? No. Wait a bit. Are you... No, I hope not, which will become another fragment. Now, if you are not, please follow this. If you don't belong to any category of religious, racial, national, actually do not, then what are you? That'll come later. What are you? If you don't belong to any of the categories, any of the fragments, what has happened to you? And no, do wait. Don't be quick. What are you? And tomorrow you have to go and vote. What will you do? Huh?
Blank vote.
But that means you are not taking a political action at all. And do look at it, sir. What will you do? Now wait a minute, put it around the other way. One doesn't want to kill people, organized killing for the nation, for the crown, for the country, and so on. At least I feel that. I won't kill. Under any circumstances, an animal or a human being. I may tread on an ant or something like that, but I won't kill an animal. I won't kill a human being for my country and all that, because I have no country. I won't kill. And I have to, when I buy a stamp, I help the war. Right? When I go to the grocery and buy things, there is tax on it. That tax goes to maintain the army, the whole system. So, I mustn't eat. I mustn't write letters. I mustn't use the telephone. Get on a railway. Use the road. Get into a car. You follow all this? And there are people who have done this. I used to know some of them. To me, that's entirely wrong. Isn't it? I must eat. I must write a letter. Get on a train. I know all, whatever money I spend will go towards killing. Right? So what shall I do? What? What shall I do? Not get on the train would be too silly. So what shall I do? Put yourself, sir, in that position. What will you do?
Like that we're forced to live fragmentary.
No. No. Perhaps there's a different way.
But are those the cause of the war itself?
Huh?
Are those the cause of the war, buying the stamp for taking
I know. Buying the stamps, railway. I encourage war. I sustain the army. What shall I do?
So on a practical level, you have to conform, otherwise you will go mad.
I have to conform or I will go mad. What am? You're not, then I shall support the army, give...
You have to exercise your political rights and other rights to the best of your ability and your
which are fragmentary. So, wait, where shall I begin? You understand? That's the problem. Knowing that whatever I do, grocery, stamp, railway, tax, everything is going to support war. The system as it is. So, what shall I do? Where shall I begin?
Is seeing that I'm fragmentary a total action?
Huh?
Is seeing that I'm living fragmentary a total action?
Of course. So what shall I do? There's a much bigger issue involved than buying the stamp, isn't there? I wonder if you...
You mean change the structure?
Huh?
Change the structure?
No, there's a much bigger issue involved, please follow it, than refusing to buy a stamp, or refusing to get on a train, or refusing to pay taxes. Right? There's a much bigger issue. The issue is, how has this structure come into being? You with your army, India with her army, Germany, Russia, you follow? How has this come into being?
I should begin with my relationship with friends, with people.
No, sir, no, sir, no, sir, not yet, not yet. I want to see how this has come into being, this division. Your army, my king, your government, you follow?
Maybe there is no line between defense and aggression.
There isn't any. There is no line between aggression and defense.
Well, one sees that it is the result of thought, but as you
No,
point
not
out,
a result of thought, just see, sir. Why has Russia, her army, America, her army, India, you follow? Whole world, why? Because we are nationalistic. My country, my religion, my people, my race, my ideology better than yours. My guru is better than your guru. More tranquil than yours. So there is the root of it in there. One of the roots. So, as long as I don't break up that in myself or tell others that unless you break away from nationality, you're going to have wars. So my concern then is not buying stamps or not buying stamps, tax, but to see and help or write or talk the causes of all this. Right?
Can we break up the structure within ourselves?
Not only ourselves, but I'm breaking it outwardly.
But what if I'm still not satisfied with my personal relationships, but still I have a strong desire to write or talk?
Wait. First let us see, we'll come to that in a minute. What is my personal relationship depends on your total relationship with the world. If I hate the Hindus, my personal relationship is also affected. Obviously, sir, this is...
Maybe we need to know first, to ask ourselves, why we need so much power and money and all these things. Maybe it's because we are told it's the only possibility for us to have happiness.
Yes, sir. Why? That's it. Why have we to be a nationalist? Why have to have this enormous armies? Why? Which is directly in relationship with my relations with my wife, my children, my neighbor. You follow, sir? My neighbor may be a Jew, a Hindu, a Chinese. If I hate colored people, I'm back again. I don't know, you follow?
So I must be free of the conditioning within myself.
What's up?
Sir, if I see the fragmentation around me in the world of what's happening in nationality,
Yeah.
then I see it, and I must first deal with the conditioning and bias within myself.
I can't. There is no time. I can't free my own conditioning, be concerned with that, and yet I have to vote. I have to take a train. I have to act.
Was not the artist, poet, painter, composer who writes music, that sings of love and truth and beauty?
Oh la la.
This is the ideal of human being.
No, madam, the love and beauty are not ideals. We're all fed up with ideals. At least I don't want them. I don't know, you may. Ideals have been the destruction of man. No? I put my ideals over there. In the meantime, I'm killing people. I talk about love and yet destroy people. No, well.
Sir, if I vote in the same conditioned state that I'm in today, then it really doesn't make any difference. Because I'm still in that fragmented state.
Yes, sir. So you see, there is a much deeper issue involved. I'm glad we can go step by step into this. Here I am, fragmented. And I've created a society of fragments. And is it possible to change myself instantly? That is the issue, you follow? Otherwise I'll keep on this fragmentary. I say I must improve change myself before I can do anything. In the meantime I have to live back and forth. So there is a fundamental question, which is, can I change instantly and act non-fragmentarily? I wonder if you get it. Right? That's a question. Don't answer it. Don't say it's possible, it's not possible. Otherwise, if I don't change instantly, I'll further fragments. Because I'll be still in fragments. And whatever I do will be in fragments. Now, can I change all my fragmentations, all my fragmentary activities, Hindu, Buddhist, communist, socialist, prejudice, follow? Break through all that instantly. If I can't, I'll perpetuate the fragments, both outwardly and inwardly. Right?
Sir, it seems like any response to a fragment must be fragmentary.
Of course.
So any response to a fragment,
that's right.
can perpetuate it.
But of course, sir. I see all this and I say, by Jove, is it possible to change immediately? And there are occasions when I do act immediately. Non-fragmentarily. Say, for instance, you see an abyss, a deep precipice, and you act. That is, you act when there is danger. Physical, psychological danger, there is immediate action. Right? You don't go through all the logics of it and think about it, hesitate. In the meantime, you're dead. Right? So when there is danger, when there is a tremendous physical, psychological threat, you act. Now, is not nationality a tremendous danger? Yes. You don't see it. And that's why you hesitate. Huh?
Why don't we see it?
Why don't you see it? Because you are conditioned. You don't say, by Jove, nationality means war, armies, supporting various governments, fighting. You don't see the danger of it. Though historically, logically, reasonably it has been pointed out to you, you say, no, there is no danger, let's carry on. And you don't see the danger of belonging to any particular group of people or to any particular organized religious body or non-organized religious body. Because they all are fragmentary and therefore destructive. And it's a danger to you. So, there's a deeper issue. Why don't you see the danger? Are your minds dull?
But you can go from the abyss, but you can't go from the nation.
You can?
You can separate yourself from the abyss.
And?
You can't separate yourself from the nation.
You can't separate yourself from the nation, but you can from the abyss. Why can't you separate yourself from the nation? I'm not a Hindu. I have a passport as an Indian, but I'm not a Hindu.
You're too busy seeing the security of the group to feel
The security of the group?
We are too busy seeing the security of the group.
We are too busy, occupied, seeing to the security of the group. The security of the group is denied when you go to war. So why don't you see the danger of it? And why don't you see there is only one possibility out of this? A government for the whole of mankind, unity of mankind. Not you and I, mankind, you and I united. But you don't see the danger of it.
And yet in the meantime, we still take the train and buy the
Of course, of course.
And so we're contributing to national...
I have to. So I said, wait sir, I've gone much beyond that. I will not belong to any group, to any religion, to any dogma, to any separative, fragmentary activity. But I have to live in this world. So I give little what I can, but I'm not concerned. I am going to emphasize the other, talk about it, go and preach, suffer, do everything to break this up.
Where we could begin, where to start, and what should the intellect do, and can there be an immediate change? Now, say we have, an example, two chains. The first chain was the links. These links can correspond to the facts which you have discussed in your talks. And considering that one has seen this very clearly and understood
Yes, sir.
has been spoken, obviously a person is put into a different state of mind than others in the society. And we have this other chain, which are the fragments of society. And the person who has arrived at this first state, this chain with the facts of love, beauty, and all these things which have been talked about, he still must exist in society and live.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Cannot live. So he swings to this other chain. He wants to hold on to this first chain, but he's obliged to swing over to the second.
Yeah, you're quite.
Now, right there is the contradiction. Because there's this contradiction. You're not completely free.
Sir?
Because of what money. Because of what money does to society. Because one cannot.
But, sir, don't take, if I may suggest, a particular example. Money, the whole thing is involved, sir. I mean, the contradictions, violence, aggression, brutality, friendship, the whole thing is involved in it.
Yes, but I can see the whole thing. But these things that you talk about, the state of mind which one can be in, it is very.
So can we put it this way? Is it possible for me as a human being, so heavily conditioned, to break away from that conditioning immediately? That is the real issue. If I can't, I will be supporting fragments all the rest of my days. And I say it is possible to completely put away all this. And a free man will act totally. Free man is the intelligent man, not the conditioned man. Right? And so on. Huh?
Who will realize it if you're living that way?
And now you're living that way, you don't have to realize it. The sun is shining. You don't realize the sun, it is there. You're living that way. I know what you mean, sir.
What effect will it have on society?
You mean what effect will it have on society? No. Of course. You're saying, who is the entity who sees the conditioning? The entity that sees, of course. The entity that sees the conditioning is also the conditioned entity. Right? Right? So I said, sir, look at it with eyes that are not conditioned. So that means don't belong to anything. Christian, communist, socialist, but be free of all your conditioning and look. Then the looking is the action, total action. Out of that look you will act totally.
There seems to be a trick to it. It seems one has to already be there before one can begin.
I am afraid there is no trick to it. One has to see this map and take a jump.
To see it, you already have to be in a position to see.
No. Not, but you see that means, why, first of all, madam, why don't you see it? Begin that way.
Being conditioned, one cannot see.
Is it? Are you aware of your conditioning?
To be aware of it, one has to already look without a condition.
No, just look at yourself and see you're conditioned. Are you conditioned? No, just there is no trick to it. First of all, am I aware that I am conditioned as a Catholic, as a communist? Just take that one thing. Am I aware of it?
In a certain sense, one can be aware, but the awareness of which you're speaking seems to be something.
I know. I'll come to that presently.
And it only seems to be that awareness operates.
Wait, but you see, you want the complete awareness before you even know what it means to begin.
There seems to be no bridge between the two, sir.
There isn't any. Madam, I quite agree, but look, am I aware just one fragment that I am a communist? Am I aware of that? What its implication and its dogmatism, it's all that. Am I aware of that? Am I aware I am a Hindu, a Buddhist, a Jew, a Democrat? Just a fragment of it. Begin there.
Yes, sir, but then you look for something else.
No, I'm not looking at anything else.
Oh yes, but that is what happens, isn't it?
No, surely.
And I can explain to myself why communism isn't solving any problems for me, or for my friends, or for my family, or for my country, or for the people I associate myself with. But then I see that, I react against it, and I look for something else.
No, I won't react. So I can't look. You're missing the whole point. I don't say I must join something else. The something else is also like the thing which I have left.
So it is my mind that keeps on wanting to see this?
It's your mind that is in fragment and acting fragmentarily. To find out, be aware of one fragment is good enough. Don't say I must be aware for all the fragments. And begin with the first fragment of which you are aware.
Sir, it is there. You use the word aware. The point is not whether one is aware of one fragment or many. The point is the crux seems to lie in the awareness. What in the world is that?
I will tell you very simply. It's very simple to tell you, but it's difficult to do it. When you come into this structure, aren't you aware of everything in there? The chairs, the benches, the numbers, how the roof is built, the color of the dress, and how people sit, look. Aren't you aware? Don't you take notice of all that? How they yawn, how they scratch, how bored they are. You're aware of all that, aren't you? And you're aware that you don't like that color, you like this color. There is your friend and there is somebody whom you don't know. Somebody you dislike, somebody you like. Aren't you aware of all that? Just be conscious. Let's forget the word aware. Aren't you conscious of all that? Or do you come in blindly, sit down and don't look around, just be, unconscious of everything. First I'm conscious of all this, then my reaction to it. I like, I don't like. That's a nice face, I'd like, that's an ugly face, and this is intelligent, and so, reaction. Now, I watch and I'm conscious of my reactions. Right? Now, why do these reactions exist? I want to find out. Because I'm my background, my culture, my system. I become aware of that. Right? So I say, by Jove, to have any system is fragmentary. So, sir, unless you do it, it becomes mere theory. This means tremendous discipline, doesn't it? To come into the room, to this hall, look, observe the colors, the shape of the heads, the way people sit, stand, yawn, all that, and find out your reaction to it, how you react, and you find out what these reactions are, the motives, the background, all, and to investigate the background, to go into it, all that demands tremendous watchfulness and discipline, doesn't it? It itself creates a discipline. But you're not willing to do that. So you say, well, I'd like to get ultimate awareness, whatever that may mean, but I won't begin at the first step. The first step may be the ultimate.
Yes.
So where are we after all this?
We were in the contradiction between using trains, stamps, etc., yet having a passport, and yet belonging to a national entity, at least by our environmental conditions.
But inwardly I don't belong to it at all.
You are reminded of it, sir.
Oh, I don't mind being reminded, I don't. I've got a brown skin, and so my neighbor, a brown skin who calls himself a Hindu and all these superstitions, I'm not touched by it. I don't belong. I'm an outsider. And from the outsider I act or not act. But you want me to act inside as an insider. So, if there were a great many outsiders, then we'll create a different structure. Obviously. And that's the purpose of our discussing.
How does the outsider vote in that case?
Huh?
How does the outsider vote?
How does the outsider vote? He may not.
Once the outsider acts, he's no longer outsider.
Huh?
Once the outsider acts, does something.
He will become the outsider and find out. You may not. So come outside first. Don't stay in there and say, what will I do? Leave it.
You say to, but can't. I mean, you might think you are, but how do you know whether you are or not?
How do you know you are an outsider? You may be deceiving yourself, of course. Therefore one needs tremendous honesty. No self-delusion. Saying, well, I'm really an outsider, but That's why one has to have great honesty without any self-illusion. What? Sir, wait. What is the difference between honesty and sincerity? A man who thinks he's Napoleon is very sincere. In a hospital, mental hospital, the unbalanced person thinks he's dreadfully sincere. Like a man who believes in some particular religious dogma, communism or whatever dogma it be, he says, I'm very sincere. But honesty is something entirely different. Honesty is the capacity to see exactly as it is. To see that I am deceiving myself. When I tell a lie, say I have told a lie. Not cover it up, not run away from it and excuse. There it is. When one is jealous, ambitious, greedy, to see it as it is. We better stop, don't you? When do we meet?
On Friday at 11 o'clock.
Friday at 11 o'clock.